Hello everyone, welcome back to our AIBE preparation series. This is Lizard and today we are tackling a concept that sits right at the heart of our constitution, federal structure. Now here is something to think about. India is called a union of states, not a federation of states. Why did the framers make that distinction? Is India really a federation or are we something in between? Let's break it all down. Let's begin with the basics. What is federalism? Federalism is essentially a system of government where power is divided between two levels of government, usually the center and the states. Each level operates independently within its sphere. Countries like the United States follow a classic federal model where individual states join together to form a union and they retain significant autonomy. India, however, did not evolve that way. We adopted federal features through our constitution, not through an agreement between the states. And here lies the uniqueness of our model. Our constitution doesn't describe India as a federation. Article 1 of the constitution says, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. This wording is deliberate. Why union? Because the Indian Federation is indestructible. States do not have the right to secede. The unity of the nation is paramount. The makers of the constitution were clear. They didn't want to allow the kind of fragmentation that led to partition. So, the term union emphasizes central strength and national integrity even within a federal framework. Now, let's look at the most important feature of a federal system, division of powers. In India, this division is laid down in the 7th schedule of the Constitution, which has three lists: Union list, State list, Concurrent list. In Union list, subjects on which only the central government can legislate, like defense, foreign affairs, banking. State list, subjects where only states can legislate, like police, public health, agriculture. Concurrent list, both center and states can make laws, but if there is a conflict, the central law prevails. And here is a critical point. India gives the center a stronger say in matters of national importance. That's why we say India has quasi-federalism, federal in structure but with unitary tendencies. Let's list out some features that reflect India's federal character. A written constitution dividing powers clearly. A rigid constitution, meaning you need the consent of states for some amendments. An independent judiciary, especially the Supreme Court, to resolve center-state disputes. Dual government structure, center and states with their own executives and legislatures. All of this sounds federal, right? But hold on, we also have unitary elements. Here is where it gets interesting. Unlike the US, we have single citizenship, all India services like IAS and IPS, unequal representation in Rajya Sabha, not all states have equal voice, emergency provisions where center can take over state functions, governor's role appointed by the center. So, while the constitution provides for federalism, it also builds in mechanisms to maintain national unity and control in times of need. Now for the good part, case laws. These help us understand how courts interpret federalism. West Bengal versus Union of India, 1963. This case upheld the center's power to acquire state property without state consent, showing center supremacy. S.R. Bommai versus Union of India, 1994. It's a landmark judgment. The Supreme Court ruled that federalism is part of the basic structure of the Constitution. Misuse of Article 356 to dismiss state governments was also made judicially reviewable. Keshavananda Bharati vs. State of Kerala, 1973. Another basic structure case, where federalism was protected as an unamendable part of the Constitution. State of Rajasthan vs. Union of India, 1977. The court held that the centre can issue directions to states but cannot act arbitrarily. NCT of Delhi vs. Union of India, 2023. A modern case redefining centre-state relations in Delhi, affirming the powers of the elected state government. These cases tell us how our courts have balanced the federal structure with national interest. Federalism in India is not static, it's evolving. Let's quickly understand the types of federalism at play. Cooperative federalism. Centre and states work together for development, seen in GST Council, NITI Ayog. Competitive federalism. States compete for investments and good governance. Asymmetrical federalism. Some states enjoy special privileges or autonomy. Think of Jammu and Kashmir earlier, or states under Article 371. This flexibility allows Indian federalism to adapt to changing political and economic scenarios. Let's talk money. Financial relations are critical in federal systems. In India, taxes are mostly collected by the centre. States rely heavily on Finance Commission recommendations for their share of revenues. Schemes like GST have increased centre's role in taxation but brought in more coordination. However, tensions do arise. Some states argue they are not getting their fair share. Debates around fiscal autonomy are now a major topic. India's federalism is tested every day. We have seen political parties at centre and state clashing over law and order, disputes over language, resources, education policies, accusations of governors acting in a partisan manner, controversial use of central agencies in states. Despite these challenges, India's federal structure has proven resilient. So, what do we conclude? India is not a classic federation, but a federation with unitary features. It's flexible, dynamic, and strong enough to handle the complexities of our vast country. For AIBE, focus on key articles like 1, 245 to 263, 356. Case laws we discussed, real world examples. That's it for today's lecture. In our next video, we will dive into the emergency provisions and how they impact federalism. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your doubts in the comments. Until next time, keep studying, stay focused, and believe in your journey to the bar. Thank you.